Hello guys, how are you? Welcome back to SEDA College Online for one more class. I hope you're having a great day and let's get ready for one more class full of knowledge. So, I have a really interesting topic for you today, but before we start, of course, I will ask you my classic question. Tell me, how do you feel today? Are you in a mood to study and to learn new things? Or maybe you feel a little bit worried and stressed today. So tell me how you feel in the comments and the live chat and keep commenting throughout the lesson. Remember, the best thing that you can do. I have another set of questions for you that are weird questions, I'd say, but also they actually need you to think a lot. You have to choose between things. So, let's start with my first question. And I want you to go to the comments and to give me your answer and tell me why you chose it. So the first one is, would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak? So take your pick. Which one would you rather lose? I think that personally I would rather lose the ability to speak. I know this might be weird, but I think I enjoy reading much more than speaking. And I'm waiting to see your answers, so you can keep writing. My second question here is, would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year of your life? So you imagine it like you will either spend 1 year in jail or you will die 1 year earlier than normal. Okay, I'm waiting to see your answers. I would rather lose a year of my life. I think it's better to enjoy the time that you have to live rather than spend some time of your life doing something miserable. And let's see your answers in my third question, which is, would you rather have one real get out of jail free card or a key that opens any door? So imagine if you have this card, you can do anything. You may go to jail, but you can be free just like that. On the other hand, if you have a key that opens any door, that's really useful too. So I think I'd rather have the key. What do you think? I think it's much more useful. And let's continue with my next question. Would you rather give up all drinks except for water or give up eating anything that was cooked in an oven? So you can't drink anything else, no alcohol, no soft drinks, no juice, only water. Or you can eat only things that are cooked in any other way, like maybe steamed, fried, boiled, but not in an oven. What do you think? Actually, this was a really hard question for me too, but I think I would go with giving up anything that was cooked in an oven. I think I can cook many things outside the oven. And one more question. Would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for food at restaurants? Think about it, it's a good one. There are many pros and cons in this one. What would you rather? On the one hand, you might think that, wow, I have unlimited international tickets. But on the other hand, how often are you going to travel, especially if you're working? Is it feasible? But you eat every day. So I would personally rather not have to pay for food again. And my last question, and my favorite question, I think it's very easy for me to answer this question. Would you rather have all your clothes fit perfectly or have the most comfortable pillows, blankets, and sheets in existence? I really want to see your answers in that and tell me if it was an easy answer for you. Okay? As I mentioned in a previous lesson, I'm a person who really loves sleep and comfortable sleep. So I would definitely rather have comfortable pillows, blankets, and sheets. So I'm curious to see your answers and see if you agree or disagree. And of course, you can continue writing your answers, okay? Now, I don't know if you have noticed that, how much attention you're paying, but all my questions have one common form. I will go back so that you can see everything. The beginning of all the questions is would you rather be, would you rather have, would you rather give up, would you rather have, etc. So, what does this mean? Can you give me a synonym of would rather? Go in the comments or the live chat and tell me what is the word that you can replace would rather with. I think that's fairly easy actually, and most of you know that. The meaning is okay, we'll focus a bit on the form. So, would rather has exactly the same meaning as would prefer, okay? But what is the difference? There is a small difference in form. I'd rather go to the cinema. You see here that you have a bare infinitive, which means no to. But I'd prefer to go to the cinema. You have a full infinitive, so we need to. I'd rather go. I'd prefer to go. That's the only difference, guys. So you can use any of the two forms you want. Would rather might be a little bit more formal, but not necessarily, okay? So you can use anything you want as long as you stick to the correct form. Rather go, prefer to go, okay? So tell me first in the comments if this is clear. I think it's pretty simple, but you never know. So if you need clarifications, tell me. And we will continue with some practice for you. In the next part, I have written down a few sentences with would prefer, and your task is to transform them, into sentences with would rather. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are my sentences. I have a box with the forms on your right, so if you don't remember something, you can take a look at that. Okay. I will just read the sentences for you. Try to write the answers in the comments. You don't have to write the full sentence. You can write up to the verb because this is what interests us right now. So for I'd prefer to live in a small city than a big one, you can focus on the part I'd prefer to live and change this into would rather. Let me read the rest of it while you are working and writing your answers. I'd prefer not to eat. Sorry, that's a typo here. Not to eat anything right now. Would you prefer to drink coffee or tea? I'd prefer to stay home if you don't mind. I'd prefer to have my own business than work for someone else. So take a look at that. And you see that we have question forms and negative forms. But as I told you, the difference is exactly the same, okay? You only change the verb from prefer to rather, and and you skip the word to, okay? So take your time. And I have a few more sentences for you after that. I have another 5 sentences. Let's see the answers to these ones first. You see that the only thing that has changed is prefer became rather and to live becomes live. Not to eat becomes not eat. To drink becomes drink. To stay becomes stay. Not to work becomes not to work. So that's the only thing that I want you to remember, okay? No to. I'd rather live. I'd rather not eat. Would you rather drink? I'd rather stay. I'd rather not work. So I think it's something pretty simple, but these simple things, especially when you're talking, are actually quite easy to forget. So try to be more conscious of how you're using the word I'd rather. Okay, so if you have any questions so far, you can still go in the comments and ask me. And let's continue with a few more examples. Now, what is the topic here? What I have here is actually related to vocabulary. Take a look at the 7 words. We have discuss and argue, the first set, realize and notice, avoid and prevent, sim and look, matter and mind, remind and remember, expect and wait. Now, the first thing that usually people ask me when they see these sets of words what is the difference between the 2 words in each set? And it's true, these words are very easily confused. So what we're gonna do is practice a little bit on how to use them. But before I tell you anything, I want you to try and practice on your own, test what you know, and test your ideas, what you think. So let's do an example together. Take a look at number 1. You don't need to, you can calmly. So you go to number 1. All the sets that you see above are in order. So for number 1, you need to choose between discuss and argue, okay? For number 2, you need to choose between realize and notice. Just put them in the correct gap, and sometimes you may need to slightly change the form as well. An example here for number 1. Where do you think do we put discuss and where do you think we put argue? Is it you don't need to discuss, you can argue calmly, or you don't need to argue, you can discuss calmly? So you can write your answers. I will show you the correct one in a few minutes. and I will give you time to look through the next sentences and choose the correct word, okay? And after you give me your guess, I will explain everything, okay? So go to the comments, go to the live chat, and write number one, first word, second word, right? And I will read the sentences for you as well, so you can listen to them too while you're working. I didn't anyone taking my wallet, but it must have been stolen. Okay, we choose between realize and notice. You need to eating unhealthy food if you want to yourself from having a heart attack. You choose between avoid and prevent. He, great, but he, a bit snob. Which one is Sim? Which one is look? I don't walking there if it really so much to you. We have matter and mind. Can you me the doctor appointment? I never it. You have remind and remember. Last one, I'm for John, but I him to be late. We have expect and wait. So I'll just wait a little bit more for you to give me the answers and then I will show you the correct ones. Okay, so let's see the answers together. You don't need to argue. You can discuss calmly. Of course, if you watched our last class, you remember that arguing means to have a verbal fight in a sense. So we can just discuss, talk calmly. We don't need to argue. I didn't notice anyone taking my wallet, but I realized it must have been stolen. What's the difference? Notice has to do with the sense of seeing something, okay? You see something and you pay attention to it. Realize is a mental process, something that your brain processes, and suddenly you understand the idea. Now, in number three, you need to avoid eating unhealthy food if you want to prevent yourself from having a heart attack. What's the difference in prevent and avoid? Okay, we avoid doing something in order to prevent specific reaction. So the two words are connected, but they're not the same. Another way to explain it is you can avoid something that is already there. For example, you have a huge plate full of hamburgers in front of you. It's there, but you avoid eating it. But the heart attack is not there. It's not something that you can avoid, something that you need to prevent. It's not there, but you know it can happen in the future. Okay, that's prevention. Now let's go to number four. He looks great, but he seems a bit snob. What's the difference? Looks usually talks about your appearance, but seems talks about your personality. So he looks great, but he seems a bit snob. Number five, I don't mind walking there if it really matters so much to you. What's the difference here? Mind means to have a problem with something. So I don't have a problem with that. Matters means that something is important to you. Okay? So something matters, it's important. It doesn't matter, it's not important to me. Okay? And I mind means that I have a problem. I don't mind, I don't have a problem with that. Now let's see the next one. Can you remind me at the doctor appointment? I never remember it. Now the difference here is about the subject and the object. For remind, somebody else needs to come to you and tell you, oh, you need to do that. Okay. So you don't get the information yourself. Somebody else needs to come and tell you. But remember is an action that you do on your own. So I remember and somebody else reminds me. And for the last one, I'm waiting for John, but I expect him to be late. So wait is something more physical, okay? I'm sitting here, I'm sitting at a bus stop waiting for the bus, okay? It has to do with time. But expect, it is your beliefs, your expectations, something that you know is probably going to happen in the future. So I'm waiting here for John, and because I know he is late, I expect him to be late. So tell me if you have any questions with that. And we'll continue with a few more words. Okay, we have hope and wish, win and beat, refuse and deny, rise and raise, lay and lie, rob and steal, warn and advise. So take a minute again, take a look at the sentences and write the correct answer in the comments. I'm going to read the sentences for you as well while you're working. I, it wasn't rainy today. I, tomorrow it'll be better. Which one is hope? Which one is wish? They, the opposing team, and the championship. Win or bet. He, to follow the policeman, and he, stealing the wallet. Refuse and deny. I, the shutter, to watch the sun. Now here, sometimes people ask me what is a shutter? It's what you use to prevent the sun from coming into your home. So your window might have a shutter, okay? And you can move it up and down to prevent the sun from coming in. So I the shutter to watch the sun. Number 12. I the towel on the sand and down. Lay or lie. And here, I just want to give you a heads up. The tenses that you're going to use are the past simple. Past simple for the first one, past simple for the second one, okay? So what is the past simple of lay and what is the past simple of lie? And just a comment, it's not the verb lie, which means not to say the truth. It's the verb lie, which means to put your body on the surface, like I lie on my bed, okay? Keep that in mind. Number 13, they, a bank, and all the money and gold, rob and steal. And 14, he, him, to save more money and not to make risky investments. Well, actually, there is a him missing after the second gap, and him not to make risky investments. So let's take a look at the answers together as well here and see how you did. I wish it wasn't rainy today. I hope tomorrow it'll be better. So wish is something for your present. Hope is usually something for your future. Okay, I wish it wasn't rainy now. I hope tomorrow it'll be better. They beat the opposing team and won the championship. So when you talk about beating, you're talking about your enemy in a sense. Okay? I beat the other player, I beat the other team. And to win has to do with the prize. I win the game, I win the prize, I win the championship. He refused to follow the policeman and he denied stealing the wallet. So what's the difference here? For refuse, you say a no, you answer no to a question. Do you want to come with me? No, you refuse. Okay. Or the policeman says, please come with me. You say no, you refuse to follow the policeman. Deny has to do with an accusation. I'm saying that you did something wrong and you deny doing that. Okay. So I accuse you of stealing the wallet and you say, no, I didn't steal it. I deny stealing the wallet. All right. So deny is specifically for accusations. And number 11, I raised the shutter to watch the sun rise. What's the difference here? Raise means that I move an object. So I grab the shutter and I move it upwards. I raise it with my hand. Rise means that something goes up on its own. It's not someone else that makes this action happen. So the sun rises, nobody helps the sun rise. Okay, the sun rises on its own, but I grab the shutter and I raise it. And now let's go to number 12, which can be a little bit hard sometimes. These are the past simples that you see here. Okay, I laid the towel on the sand and lay down. Okay. And I will show you a note about these verbs because I know it can be a little bit confusing. Okay. Number 13, they robbed a bank and stole all the money and the gold. So when you rob, you're talking about the place or the person. Someone robbed me, someone robbed my house. Steal talks about what you took. I stole the money, I stole the gold, I stole the jewelry. He advised him to save more money and warned him not to make risky investments. So advice is usually something neutral, something that I'm telling you because I care about you. But a warning can be kind of a threat. Okay, so it's kind of negative. It always has a negative meaning. All right, guys, so you can still ask me questions, but I have a last note about the verbs lie and lay. The verb that we did not see in the exercise is the regular verb, which means not to tell the truth, okay? Which gets the normal ed, lie, lied, lied, he lied to me. What we had in the exercise were the irregular verbs. Lie, which means to put my body on a horizontal position, and lay to means to arrange an item on a surface. For example, I'm preparing dinner and I'm laying the table. I'm putting the tablecloth on the table. Or I am at the beach and I lay my towel on the sand. What is difficult with these verbs and confusing sometimes is the past simple and the past participle. So for the lie, to put my body on a horizontal position, the past simple is lay and the past participle is lain. So that can be a little bit tricky. Lie, lay, lane. Now for the next one, which means to arrange an item on a surface, it's laid, laid, laid. So I know this can be a little bit confusing, but if you get used to it at some point, it will be better, okay? All right, guys. And let's move on to the last part of our lesson, which is a little bit of pronunciation. We have 4 sounds. I want you to find words that have the sound I or the sound A. We have diphthongs, and then we have the short I and the long E. You can see the words on your left, and you can see the bold letters that you need to pay attention to. While you're working, I will read the words once for you, so you can go in the comments and write number 1 for I. Give me the words. Number 2 for A. Give me the words again. All right? So let's pronounce them as well to help you a little bit. Agree, realize, seem, mind, remind, wait, wish, beat, win, deny, raise, rise, lay, lie, steal, advise. So you see all these are words that we saw before, part of the confusing verbs exercise. So you heard them a lot in the past few minutes. Let's see if you can put them in the correct categories. Okay, and sometimes the letters can help you because there are letters that usually have a specific pronunciation. That's not 100% true, but it can be some help. Okay, so we have I, A, E, and E. I'll just give you a few more seconds. All right, so let's see the answers together, guys, and pronounce them. For I, we have realize, so it's eyes, realize, mind, remind, deny, rise, lie, advise. All of them have the sound I. Then we go to A, wait, raise, lay. E, the short one, okay? It's wish, when you see that it's not short. The next one where it's longer, you see that my mouth becomes longer. E, here it's short. E, wish, win, agree. Okay, so the last one is agree, seem, beat, steal. Okay, guys, so please tell me if you have any questions and tell me what did you think about today's lesson, okay? Let's recap. Today we saw grammar about would rather versus would prefer. What is the difference? Remember? Some vocabulary about confusing verbs and pronunciation about specific sounds I, A, E, and E. So before we finish, go in the comments and tell me what did you learn today and what did you like about today's class. And I'm waiting to see you again here next time. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have a great day. Bye guys.